would like to speak about the Czech-Armenian relations. I think I should stress, first of all, that we have traditionally good relations in many spheres. And I think that both countries in these days really are of the same assessment that the most important is now the development of economic relations. After so to say, so many crises, so economic crisis, now we had this pandemic situation, COVID, and it's going on. But it was, of course, very difficult to implement and to organize physical contacts on high levels, and of course it was not advantageous for our relations. But in general, I think that both sides really agree on the necessity of maintaining the level of political dialogue high, independently of these challenges. Perhaps I can inform you that it was planned before this COVID pandemic, that it was planned the visit to Armenia of our parliament delegation on the highest level, and it was also planned the official visit of your Prime Minister Prague. But we are very glad that we could organize two important events. First, it was the working visit of our foreign minister on the 1st of October in Armenia, and it was really very important visit. He was received of course, from his partner. The talks with his partners were always important, and he was received from the Prime Minister, from the President, and from the Deputy Prime Minister Grigoryan. To stress the importance of economic relations, the minister came with a business delegation. And so to say, as a natural follow-up, in the mid of October, we in Armenia we had the 5th session of our Governmental Economic Commission, what was very important. And again, Czech delegation brought with the Czech delegation on the level of Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade. We have a special business delegation. It was business forum organized here, and perhaps I can say something more about it. But you see, I would like to stress also that independently of our common history, I mean this history to be together, you sometimes more in the system of undemocratic authoritarian regimes. I think that the economic potential of the Czech Republic is not, so to say, well known here in Armenia. And you see, I would like to stress that you should know that we were, before the First World War, we were one of within the Austro-Hungarian monarchy. We are one of the most developed countries of the world, and I can here mention that 2/3 of the industry of the whole monarchy was on the territory of today's Czech Republic, and very important. And you know, when in the period between the wars, according to GDP per capita, we would be, when not in G8, the Czechoslovak Republic would be, I think, at the G12, sure. And but it is, how to say, evidence how this so-called planned economy or socialist economy, we are the best experience. How this damaged the whole economy, because after the Second World War we were much more developed than, for example, Austria, and after 20 years of so-called socialism, Austria was much better developed than Czechoslovakia. But nevertheless, this so to say experience, this industrial experience is here. This is the heritage also, and the knowledge of the workers. And now we are really very developed industrial country. And perhaps I can mention that now we are one of the very few countries that have in trade big surplus in trade with Germany. Of course, it's also caused because many famous German companies have their factories on our territory. And when I speak about our common history with Germany, which was not always easy, especially tragic Nazi time, but now perhaps economically we returned to the old Holy Roman Empire. We were in the history integral part of it. Economically we are back, and for the Czech economy it's very advantageous. What I mean that you should know that we are really very developed industrial country, that we return to our old tradition. And I mention it because we have many possibilities to cooperate, which was not used, and both during the visit of our Minister of Foreign Affairs and during the Governmental Economic Commission, it was mentioned from both sides that we have potential which is not used, and that we should use it, and to take necessary steps to enhance our bilateral economic and investment cooperation. You see, we have mutual understanding that Armenia-European Union Comprehensive and Enhanced Partnership Agreement opens new avenues or ways for streamlining the bilateral interaction. And I am very glad that both sides highly valued cooperation within the Eastern Partnership framework. Eastern Partnership, I would like to mention, here we have really big potential, and I am very proud that the Czech Republic was, I think, 2009, one of the initiators of this very useful initiative. And I think that it's up to Armenia to use the potential of Eastern Partnership. We as Czech Republic, as one of the initiators, we really can encourage and help Armenia to use the potential in it. And what I know, there is here at disposal for the countries of Eastern Partnership really substantial sum of money to be used. But what is important, and what I know, it was mentioned many times from I think European Commission, from here delegation, that it's necessary to use this potential. It's necessary to prepare and to present, so to say, if you allow ripe projects that are concrete, they are useful, and they are seen also from us as European Union as useful. We have big interest that Armenia can use this money. I think that also within this framework, our companies can cooperate, and you see, in general, perhaps I would like to mention that the government cannot make, so to say, business. Yes, they can only create advantageous conditions, necessary conditions to bring companies, entrepreneurs together, and then on both sides, with the legislation to create necessary conditions for trade, for investments. It's tax legislation, many other things. Open society, independent courts, which brings trust for companies to have trade and to invest in other countries. So this is most necessary conditions. We think that Armenia made big progress, for example, in the cooperation with the European Union, as far as, for example, judicial reforms are concerned, which is very, very important. And so to say, we should really try on both sides to develop business, and really. As ambassador, I completely agree with the assessment on both sides that we have the potential that was not used, that should be used. We have traditional contacts, and we try, of course, also on the platform of this bilateral commission, we try to bring entrepreneurs together. Therefore, it's of course in this time it's especially important the cooperation in the field of health, and therefore within the framework of this bilateral session of bilateral commission, our Ministry of Industry and Trade reorganized the special business trip of our companies in this sector. So I would like to mention that we are in this sector, we are really excellent, and one of the best companies, Linet, they produce special beds for hospitals, and I think because of your plan of your government to construct many hospitals, that we have open field for cooperation. This firma Linet, I think they made for your hospitals gift of 15 this beds, but to open business. It's only one field. We have many fields. For example, I can mention we are both countries of nuclear energy, and we have traditional, your nuclear power plant, Metsamor, has traditional cooperation, which we would like to develop in this tradition with Škoda nuclear machinery in famous town Plzeň, which is of course more famous for the best beer of the world, Pilsner Urquell. So we have many other fields, and I am not sure that I can mention everything, but in this even sad time, this health, so to say, branch is very important. But we brought many other business people to Armenia within this commission, and this was what I already mentioned, to bring entrepreneurs together. This is extremely important. We should follow it. We should, so to say, governments should help also to entrepreneurs to take part in international fairs. So to use every possibility to have knowledge about the capacities and possibilities of each other. We of course have many other fields. I can also mention the field of tourism. But it's of course it's realistic. We also have common heritage in the sense not common history, but you have many historical monuments, very interesting for tourism. The same Czech Republic. So this is sure the field of future cooperation. But what I would like also to mention our traditional cooperation. We support with small projects and transformation projects your way to democracy and the rule of law. In the past year, it's already tradition of our embassy to support NGO, especially NGO with some project, especially concentrated on freedom of media, on so to say also young people and women, if you wish, gender problem. We made many small projects, and when I speak about transformation, I think it could be helpful to because we have really common experience, and we can offer our experience in the transformation from this old authoritarian system to democracy. So, and we do it. We really have many small projects on this field, and we intend to follow this good experience, and we have here really support of our ministry in Prague. We present to Prague the projects, so from 1 to 3 on each field. I mean, small projects and transformation projects, and we, so to say, we would like to continue this practice. And perhaps it's not also here big knowledge. We have traditional, not only traditional, but exceptional personal relations between our Archbishop from Prague and your Catholicos. And they are really personal friends, and it's, I think, also very important field of cooperation. And I would like to mention that our Archbishop from Prague gave at the disposal of Armenia Church in the center of Prague one very nice Gothic church. So it's now in the disposal for Armenian people living in Prague and Czech Republic, that they can have the practice. I think it's very nice field to, so to say. It's something for me of much symbolic value. Okay, see, I was, so to say, I was always, as a boy, I was always interested in the history. And so to say, my most, so to say, favorite books I read at least 3 times. It was from Alexander Dumas, Les Trois Mousquetaires. So, and it really, perhaps, it was then for the interest on the French history. But I think I should also mention our authors, Czech authors, and for me, really the best author was Karel Čapek. His apocryphs, you know, he was a personal, especially his apocryphs. He was personal friends of our first president of Czechoslovakia, Tomáš Garrigue Masaryk, and this during the time of the authoritarian regime, he was so famous, he couldn't be forbidden. But these apocryphs, because this is essays full of going to democracy, human rights, humanitarian, it was not published. Any other they were published, this not. And of course, you know, I think all over the world it's known from Jaroslav Hašek, the brave soldier Švejk. But what my experience is that it's excellent book, many times also made as movie. But my experience is that it's famous especially for men, not for ladies. I don't know why, but it is so. But the book is also excellent with a special art of humor. We have this tragic history, our, so to say, which was not successful when we tried to go to democracy in 1968, which was ended with Soviet aggression and occupation. And Zdeněk Mlynář, who was one of the persons, he was a member of Politburo of the Czechoslovak Communist Party, one of the men who really were on, so to say, one of the leading personalities of this democratization process. He then wrote, he then lived in Innsbruck as professor, and he wrote a very interesting book, The Frost is Coming from the Kremlin, about this whole tragical history. And when we speak about the political books, I can also recommend how the development to democracy could be also endangered. Two books from the former chief of the Austrian public television, Paul Endwai, about the development of Hungary. It's two books, My Lost Country and Orban's Hungary. Excellent books. It's very difficult to say, but I think it was really Karel Čapek, because he also wrote many theater pieces, yes. And I think not everybody knows that he invented the word robot in one of these pieces, Eruer. But I think it's also because it was, as I say, it was not possible because he was so famous. It was not possible to, so to say, to exclude him through the censorship. I am very proud on the Czech cinematography, and I should mention I really like very much two Oscar movies. I think it's really not so to say incidentally that both were made in this process of this first effort of democratization, and this is the Shop on Main Street of directors Elmar Kloss and Jan Kadar. What is they were then excluded from the business after '68, and this really excellent movie about the development of Slovakia to support Nazism and to anti-Semitism, to open anti-Semitism. It's really, you are shocked, but it's excellent film. And the next film about Nazi occupation is from director Jiří Menzel, which is really, I think, famous all over the world. Closely watch trains. And then you see Jiří Menzel. I didn't mention the books from Bohumil Hrabal, and perhaps it's connected with the movies, because Jiří Menzel, he really was director of many films, many movies, really based on the novels of Bohumil Hrabal. Bohumil Hrabal was also not, so to say, very friendly with the authoritarian regime, but he was also so famous it was not possible to completely forbid him. So, but I should mention one of this. Something it was he really many movies. He made many movies upon Hrabal, but one I can mention. It's. I served as waiter for the King of England. It's really fantastic. It's fantastic experimental film, and to my opinion, it could really be made only from Jiří Menzel. And of course, I should mention also, I think even the most popular director is Miloš Forman. Miloš Forman, and I think the whole world knows his Amadeus. When I see how we have now in our days, and it's a phenomenon which is, I think, very, very dangerous. What I mean the division in our societies. It's in Europe, especially in the United States. And I was very happy, and that as a young diplomat I had personal, very good connections with architecture of German Eastern policy, Egon Bahr. When I could meet him and ask him about his assessment of this, I think, really very sad process. So it would be for me big honor. And you know, perhaps one more, the same question I would like to put, because I was very happy to cooperate after our valedictory resolution as counselor in the cabinet of our first foreign minister of Democratic Czechoslovak Republic, Jiří Dinsbír. To him I would like to put the same question. You see, personally I would like to mention that the problem of the division, which is very actual to my opinion, is because even democratic parties in many countries see themselves as enemies. And one very, very, so to say, intelligent politician said the democratic parties should be competitors, not enemies. Perhaps it was connected to what I mentioned as a young boy, that they really admired books about history. So I think the first impulse was this, so to say, reading about history of France, Russia, of course Czechoslovakia, Germany. So perhaps it was the first, so to say, impulse to go this way. Perhaps in Europe it was now Chancellor Merkel. we will see what will be in the future. My favorite game, so when I was young, I played even half professionally chess and bridge. So it's for me, of course, favorite, the most favorite. From classical music, I like very much our Antonín Dvořák. And from the pop music, I really, up to now, it's a little bit nostalgia. I like very much Beatles. Very much Beatles, and from Czech, of course, Karel Gott. What was for me interesting as far as Karel Gott is concerned, when he was already old, I got the impression, and he was more popular in Germany than Czech Republic. It's very difficult, but cultural shock for me, it was that how, so to say, the Armenian people, many Armenian people don't stick to the rules of traffic. So they are very dangerous when driving. And I cannot understand, because it's dangerous, so to say, candidature for suicide to some extent. This was for me really shock. And the second, so to say, negative shock was waste management. And it is perhaps connected. It could be field of cooperation. We have many good experience on this film, our companies. Perhaps it could be, but because waste management here is really on very bad level, and even it's connected to its ecology, which is now very important. So yes, we should make better. So when we see now this COVID, the last thing, the people don't stick to the rules also as far as this masks are concerned. It's also very bad. Especially when it's not possible to have social distance. It's necessary, to my opinion. You see, in general, I like your foods, your kitchen very much. Especially, but your food is much more healthy than Czech, because you have very many vegetables. I like very much your vegetable series. I like tolma, I like barbecue, and it's really excellent. I like your food very much.